Hello, it's Jen Murphy reading my book for people who don't like to read. I'm reading it for you. This chapter is called Grapes and Raisins. Hi, my name is Jen Murphy, and I'm a comedian/writer living in Los Angeles, still single, on the brink of turning 50, and just recently broke up with my long-distance 27-year-old boyfriend. This was written a few years ago. Before you judge me too harshly, hear me out. I met Devin in October of 2022 in a sports bar in Studio City. He and his two friends that towed behind were in town for the week, visiting from Atlanta. I was alone with my laptop writing, watching football. We chatted for about an hour before him and his friends descended upon their next LA tourist adventure. In typical single romantic fashion, we exchanged numbers and spent the night texting about seeing each other again before he left. But it's LA. Whoever actually follows through with these plans? Young, horny men visiting from Atlanta, apparently. I honestly did not know his age when he called me up 2 nights later to meet for a drink. I could tell he was younger, but figured, or should I say hoped, he was at least in his 4th decade of existence. I kind of thought mid-30s. I was very nervous, but agreed to meet him, as my fear has kept me more and more homebound the older I get. After a whimsical, movie-like night of cocktails and some intense physical flirting, he departed back to Atlanta. That's when the love affair really started. Early morning calls and late-night FaceTimes. He was all about me. He'd send me love songs and hypnotize me with talk of how we are soulmates. He jokingly called me his wife, and I returned the fabricated sitcom-style non-reality silliness with a joyous, "my husband." There was such a safety in distance. I could say I love you every day without the consequences that cause in-person fights, without having to deal with the possibility of an inevitable mundaneness that often accompanies a real relationship. At least in my world, sorry. No judgment to you people in relationships. He wasn't here to leave my place a mess or roll his eyes when I say something stupid. But the more we talked, the more I wondered if something real could actually be possible. Waking up every morning alone, I would sometimes get so frustrated and annoyed just thinking how perfect we could be if he was just at least 10 years older. I would have preferred a solid 20 difference, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. All I kept thinking was, why was the universe so cruel to deliver upon me this seemingly perfect creature who I could never introduce to my family without the certainty of a backlash of scrutiny? At an age when I am deeply struggling with decline and looking in the mirror has begun to, more often than not, cause an unexpected emotional outburst. He made me feel young and attractive, sexy and pretty, straight up desirable. There are moments I know I still am desirable. I eat healthy and keep myself in shape. But to the younger generation now, I have become ma'am, or that lady, a middle-aged woman. At first, the age seemed like only a problem in its number value, but over time I realized it was deeper and maybe more psychologically damaging than that. What at first seemed like a normal long-distance relationship, over time transformed into me worrying about his young, fragile mental state and seemingly wavering bank account. I knew what it was like to be young and broke and wanted to help out any chance I could. I am not by any means well off financially, and most certainly couldn't ever accept myself as a sugar mama, so I did it in small ways, buying an item of clothing from his online self-started sports apparel company, or sending like $20 or $30 to say, "Hey, have dinner on me." I reveled in the joy of helping someone I deeply cared for, but also, at times, felt just a little wrong in the action. How do you resist someone that tells you they love you every day? Is this a non-childbearing aged woman's midlife crisis? Let me read that sentence again without the struggle. Is this a non-childbearing middle-aged woman's midlife crisis? All of you are watching like, yes, it is. Was I trying to fill that empty, motherless void? My core instinct and female embedded nature naturally wants to take care of another human. Not full time, but in some facet. Sometimes just being needed is what keeps me motivated throughout the day. But never doubt the universe, because if you direct this need in the wrong direction or for the wrong reasons, it will always throw the truth in your face eventually. I finally cut things off after finding out I was not the only midlife crisis woman in his life. Older women seem to be his pattern. No judgment. This guy's great. We're still friends. How silly of me to think I was special. Or is he just a player in his rookie year? I was so angry at first. My mature, waning ego crushed. But in the end, I am grateful. Because I would have felt the desire to keep coddling him, and that's not how I should enter my senior years of life. Don't try and raise the child I could or should have had in my 20s. Okay, now it's getting creepy. I agree. In the end, it taught me how much I desire that deep connection, and that it will only be better with someone of my age and level of life experience. I feel embarrassed, and it's taken me some strength to post this to the public, but I have absolutely no regret. His innocence and naivety reminded me of what a deep, unfiltered, innocent crush was like before a lifetime of experiences tainted and shadowed my romantic joy with opposition, fear, and distrust. As a drunk guy at LAX on New Year's Eve once boisterously announced to me and everyone in ear's length, love like you've never been hurt. The reason I called this Grapes and Raisins, which I thought I put in the article, I'm an idiot. It's because he gave me a joke where I asked this same guy I wrote about, I said, don't you want to be with a younger woman? Like, don't you want some young hot chick? And he was like, well, I like younger women and I like older women. You know, it's like grapes and raisins.